Hi, this is Agricultural Laptop Magazine, and we're here today looking at the Kurio phone. This phone is uniquely designed for children, so it's got parental controls built right into the ROM. At launching later this spring under $200 on lock, this phone is going to run on Sprint, AT&T, or T-Mobile at 3G speeds. And while the specs on this aren't going to be the high-end flagship phone, they're going to be more than great for your kids, and the parental controls are going to really make sure that they don't see or do things you don't want them to. So, taking a quick look at the phone, we've got a 4.3-inch display here, running at 800 by 480. It's got Android 4.2 on it. It's a very attractive device. You can see it's got this green ring, this kind of green teal ring here, and you can also get it in red, which is really nice. Now, you look at the operating system, it doesn't look like anything particularly different than you see in other Android. You've got your quick settings menu and such. You've got all that stuff. We're going to turn the brightness up. But you'll see that there's always Kurio Genius running in the background. You can't close it, you can't get rid of it. It's there all the time. And when you look at it as the child, you see exactly what your restrictions are. So you see whether or not web browsing is enabled, text messaging is enabled, how many you have left. If your parents have set a limit, you can also kind of go through here and see more specifically what the permissions are, what's allowed, what's not allowed for you, and you can also see if you are geofenced, and parents can geofence you to see whether you're in a left or a restricted zone or an allowed zone. That shows up as an alert. So that's pretty neat. On the phone itself, you have an emergency bar here, which will get you to 911 if you're a kid. And if you dial 911 or dial your emergency contact, which is a person that your parents set, those people will get a text message alerting them of what you did. Now, what's really interesting is what the parental interface looks like. So this is what it looks like for the kid. Now, what does it look like for the parent? So over here on the Kurio website, the software, which is powered by iShapper, which is available as a separate app but not with this level of integration on any other phone, allows you to really control the phone experience for your child. So if we go into the alerts panel here, for example, I can set what alerts I get, and for any alert, as a parent, I will get a text message, whether the kid's battery is low, whether they've left the authorized area that I want them to be in geofencing, whether they've tried to change the SIM card to go on a different network. Obviously, if they dial 911, I want to be alerted. All of that I set here. I can set my emergency contacts here, so if I want them to be able to call their grandparents and me and their mother, that's where I set that. Contacts, I can actually control who they can and cannot call and receive calls from. So if I only want them talking to a handful of people, I can do it. Even more importantly, I can control what apps they can and can't use. I can even control what time they can and can't use the apps. But you can see here, this is the interface where you see the list of allowed apps, blocked apps, restricted apps, and whether or not they can install apps from Google Play on their own. So that's pretty cool. Calendar here is where I can set the times that the kid is allowed to do things. I can really restrict what they, when they can make calls, when they can send messages, and when they can use apps. All that, those can be set separately. Geofencing here, I can actually go in and decide what locations they can visit, so I know if they're in school or they try to play hooky, I will get an alert. I can control how much phone use they have, how many minutes. I can give them a phone minutes and messages allowance, so that they learn to use the phone responsibly. And I can control the internet filter on here, so I can either block the whole internet, I can do it by age filters, and when this actually comes out, it's going to be even more detailed with some advanced options that Kurio has, which are going to really allow parents who want to decide what type of content their kids can and cannot see on the web. Finally, I can track a lost phone and see if it's stolen. So there's just a lot of detail there. And one of the things that's really neat about this is Kurio's philosophy that the child should know what the parent is monitoring. So when they're in this app, when they're in the Kurio Genius app, they're able to see what the restrictions are. If their parent gets an alert, they see that as a notification on here. So you're not going to be spying on your kids. You're going to be teaching your kids to use the phone responsibly, which is really the best method of parenting. So that was just a quick look at the Kurio phone for kids. We'll be launching later this spring for under $200 unlocked and available on 3 of the 4 major networks. This is Abram Pelch with Laptop Magazine here at CES 2014.